Can you guys hear me?
Blip, 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 blip,
I can hear
blip.
you guys.
You can't hear us.
Yeah.
Byram, what have you done? We can hear you. Classic.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
So
Sure
classic.
can.
Yeah,
I can't hear you.
it's your problem.
No puedo hear you.
You're muted or something.
No, clear.
Your headphones plugged in? This is good pod.
Good pod. This is my smoothie that I made for myself today. For all of the listeners, I'm holding up a big gross smoothie that looks like baby food.
That's dope.
It has spinach, ginger, half an apple, half an avocado, carrot, and all those things.
That's a lot of stuff.
I know. And I could have just eaten them and chewed them myself, but I decided I would let a blender do the chewing for me. And
I like
that is going to be the name of my blender.
Chewy?
Let the chewer do it.
That's going to be the name of your blender?
Well, my blender, it's going to be like the tagline for my blender company. Let us do the chewing for you.
I like that. So, Bean, what's new?
What
shows?
is new? I had one in April a couple of Mondays ago. I told you about this. It was like experimental music plus comedy. Yeah, it was weird, but it was
Can you guys
awesome.
hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you.
I don't know why I can't hear you. I'm going to just restart.
Yeah, do.
All right. So I had that good show, and then what else happened? I bombed a comedy last night, but I keep meaning to tell the Bob Dylan using a hedge trimmer joke. I keep forgetting.
I know, you got to pull that one out from your holster when...
I know, exactly. Right when I'm like it's like the most possible crickets. I'll be like, guys, want to hear an impression? And then everyone will leave. Because that's the typical response when anybody's like, guys, want to hear an impression?
Have you practiced it into the microphone? There might be an effect you can get on the mic.
Oh, no. It's a good idea.
You like put your mouth right up in it. So I put Leah down for a nap,
How'd it
which
go?
she has objected to vehemently.
Oh, no.
She was standing in their crib yelling, and now she's just sitting there.
Oh,
But it's okay.
do you need to go deal with her? Or is she
No. We
self-sustaining?
can't. No, the pod must flow.
The pod must flow. Leah can get her head stuck in the bars for all we care.
So I'm trying to think what I have to report from the world. Alas, my life is quite routine these days. A lot of baby wrangling. I don't know. Life is good, quiet.
So you've been mentioning that it seems like you have a little bit of baby brain, and Amy also has it too.
So it's less noticeable with me because I fuck up a lot anyway.
Yeah.
It's much more noticeable with Amy because she is like renowned for her like ability to be present,
Yes.
pay attention to details.
Yeah.
And for the first time in her life, she's doing things like losing sunglasses, forgetting where she put her keys, like
Yeah.
just leaving stuff at home, just generally like being discombobulated, and she's like horrified by it. She can't
Really?
believe it. Like the other day, she was like, had lost her sunglasses. She never lost her sunglasses in her life. And she was
I know.
like,
When
like,
we
welcome
went,
to my world.
when we went down, I know. It must be weird to not be perfect, isn't it?
Right? Yeah.
You're trying to keep another human alive, so sometimes you forget about other stuff.
That human.
Yeah. She forgot the phone charger when we went down for Mom's retirement party. And I was
Oh,
like,
right.
I kept like wanting to ask her about it, be like, Amy, you forgot something? I don't really like know
Me too.
about that.
I was bringing it up. I'm like, so, you
Remember
made a
that time?
mistake today, huh?
Yeah, how's that? Cool, huh?
Right. How's that feel?
Yeah, how's that feel? Feel like to fall down to earth.
Maybe we'll bring this up next time I make a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
Good times.
So I don't know if you noticed. Again, for the listeners, I'm wearing about 1,000 layers plus a scarf, even though it's 45 degrees outside. But it's one of those things where now that it's gotten to be like 70, anything below 70, I'm like freezing, like hypothermic. I almost didn't get out of bed this morning, and it's a beautiful day.
Right, it's like your thermostat gets set by like the warmest day.
Yeah, exactly. And now all of a sudden my blood is like so thin, and it's really nice out. I'm freezing.
Let's talk about a little bit of news. I was just reading the news this morning, and
Let's do it.
one story jumped out at me as being really important amongst all the headlines, and that is that Chipotle has begun delivery.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Just by reading on someone's
I haven't availed myself of this yet, but I'm really looking forward to getting Chipotle delivery.
I am too. Although I've kind of weaned myself off of fast food almost entirely.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. We don't eat a lot of fast food.
I
It's
know.
only for special occasions.
And
but...
Chipotle is like good fast food. I think it's like typically. I mean, it's all cooked in like butter and shit, but like who cares about that?
I mean, it's better than Taco Bell.
Yeah, exactly.
Burger King.
Disney.
Bizzle, can you hear us? You can not hear us?
I can hear.
Yes.
Yay! Wow,
Disney.
that was very like biblical. It's like a biblical.
It was very Nell.
Is so now. Exactly.
We were just talking about Chipotle delivery
Fuck yes.
and whether we're going to avail ourselves of this.
Did I tell you guys I repopped my Chipotle cherry the other day?
No.
You had a Chipotle cherry?
Yeah, I hadn't had Chipotle in a long, long time, and I hadn't had a burrito in even longer. And I went in and got a fucking burrito, housed it, and I felt like I had a fucking brick in my chest for like 6 hours afterwards. It was like a really good kind of discomfort.
Good pain, the good pain.
Yeah. I took a nice healthy shit the next morning too. What are you drinking?
Speaking of healthy shits, this is my morning smoothie that I bought a blender and now I make smoothies.
It looks like some of it didn't blend though. It looks like there's like chunks of lettuce and rhubarb clinging to the side of that.
Well, there isn't. It's perfectly blended.
Do you have a fancy blender?
It's I
Ninja
bought
or
it
something?
off the internet. It costs like $40. I was gonna buy like the NutriBullet or whatever those things are, but I really can't spend $100 on a blender.
Well, I'm glad you got this because it's something that I've actually been thinking about doing myself because I have a place called Juice Generation right next door to my office. It's part of the Equinox, so I literally just go into Equinox to eat because they have delicious smoothies. But they're so expensive, and I thought if I get one of those, is it worth it? Are they hard to clean? Am I going to buy like more fruit and vegetables than I need, and half of them are going to go to waste? Like, what's the deal with that?
Well, no, because I bought sometimes you can get like a juicer. And I think those are an enormous pain in the ass because you put the vegetable in there and then like 2/3 of it comes back out as like pulp, which you ultimately waste unless you look like a fucking goat or a zombie. But with this, you just blend up all the vegetables and all of it goes into the smoothie, which is why it's so chunky. So basically what I'm doing is just like not chewing. I'm letting somebody else do the chewing for me, which is invaluable because chewing takes a really long time.
At what point do you throw in the Vienna sausages? Because I know you like those to still be a little bit intact.
Towards the end, definitely towards the end, because you want all the like veal, the like congealed fat to like come up towards the top as you're starting to like finish up your smoothie. So you're like kale, banana, apple, peanut butter, Vienna sausage.
So the key thing is to have that like pork fat mustache after you take a sip.
Always. Yes.
Can somebody remind me to name this episode Pork Fat Mustache?
I was going to say maybe name your next child Pork Fat Mustache.
Holy shit, pork fat mustache.
So Leah has a meat buddy.
So we were trying to come the other day. I noticed that Leah has what little hair she has is appearing in tufts and fronds.
Yay!
And I thought Tuft and Fronds would be a good hipster baby name.
That would be a really good hipster baby name. I've told you before that sometimes in pictures Leah looks a little bit like Louis C.K. because of her hair patterns and her general like kind of concerned facial expression.
What is a fronds?
A frond? It's like a frond of a plant. It's like the frond is like a leaf basically. It's like a frond of a fern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even though I was frozen, I'm just agreeing because I assumed that something.
Yeah, that's true. Always agree in the affirmative.
Fern frond.
Fern frond.
Mm-hmm.
My roommate baby is being hilarious lately, and her hair grows in ferns and fronds, and she's got like this hair thing, like right up the middle. She has like a mohawk and then 2 side mohawks, which is really cute.
I think that's just how blonde babies grow, right?
My Rima baby is a brunette baby. She has black hair.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Simone. She's rad. Bizzle, how is Upright Citizens Brigade?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really good. I had an interesting experience though because we had a couple of ethnic people in the class, Latinos from New Jersey, yeah, and it was interesting because the first exercise we did, 4 of us had to go up at a time, and the teacher would point to one, and you had to just start speaking passionately about something, and you had to just come up with something and just as if you're trying to convince the audience of your stance on a social issue or something. And one of the women in my class, she did something funny early on in the class too, because you had to introduce yourself in an alliterative way. So I said Bouncy Byram because the guy before me chose Big Suarez, and I said, "You're missing the point." I was thinking, all right,
you have one job.
Yeah, so you have to come up with a motion, and he goes Big Suarez, and the guy is fucking big, but he was like Big Suarez. I was like, fuck, you're the first person, and you fucked this up.
Maybe so Sizable Suarez, I would have gone with. Yeah.
Suave Suarez or something. And so the woman immediately to my left, because we were going into circular motion, you have to do a movement also. And she just did this little shuffle, and she goes, Barbara Chiquitita. And I was like, again, what are you guys doing? This is not alliterative. What are you doing? So then it gets to me, and I'm like Bouncy Byram, and I was wearing a really tight shirt, so when I bounced, my tits were just like hitting me in the eyes. I had black eyes at the end of this. Anyway, so then the next exercise was speak with conviction. Homegirl Barbara Chiquitita, she goes up there and she goes, so I don't have much money, I don't have a job, and my mother-in-law, she's over last week, and she says, my mother-in-law's Jewish, so she's very concerned with money, and she says, why are you not working? Why are you paying for class? And I said, you Jewish people, all you think about is money. I was like, Barbara Chiquitita, shut the fuck up.
It just got real racist.
It was so uncomfortable. And then there was a guy, Dashing Domingo, I think his name was. Or
all right, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got the rules. He went up and he said something when he had to speak with conviction. He goes, so I'm living with my millionaire aunt in Brooklyn, and he goes, and the thing that really stresses me out is I'm living beyond my means because I can't afford what she has, and I just feel inadequate living in this house. And her husband, he's a Jew, and like Barbara said, they're a little possessed with money, and he's always saying, why don't you invest your money? And I said, "Oh my God, these people!" Like, and no one's even batting an eyelash. Like, what class am I in?
Wait, did you read the brochure right? This is not the Upright Anti-Semites Brigade.
So there was one point where there was a skit, and they made fun of little people, and that's when the teacher, who is a black Jewish woman, Whoopi Goldberg, we talked about this last time. Her name is Keisha Zoller. That's when she, after the class, she goes, "I just want to say." To the whole class, and this was based on the small people comment. She said, this class is about making humor out of people's actions and what people do, not about people in particular as it relates to their gender or their race or sexual preference
their
or anything.
Size.
Yeah, but that's what offended her. I was like, we just fucking had Holocaust Part Due in this room, and you're all concerned about small people? Like, and they said small people. They didn't say like dwarfs or midgets.
That's PC.
Yeah, so I was. I felt like I was like a little bit like just witnessing this from the outside because no one's saying anything, and you would expect there were a couple people you would expect to just be like in a class that size, somebody might have said, "Hey, right. What do you know?" And those people have no fucking filter. Like the fact that they think that, you got to give them credit because if they are that vocal about it, they probably aren't coming from a mean place with it.
No, it's just their like perception of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not like sometimes I'll try and say something that's just like in any way related to race, and it always comes out of my mouth racist. In my head, it's just like making like a pithy observation about like the differences between races, but it comes out of my mouth like really racist, and I'm like, how did that just happen? I don't.
But we are also like we have that racism of like always thinking about being racist. Like,
yeah.
I feel like you're more racist if you're constantly thinking about being racist than if you just are yourself and making observations in the world.
Yeah.
This is so. Tell me if this sounds racist. So last night I was at an open mic, and it's in the basement of a bar, and upstairs in the bar were these women who apparently were celebrating like 21st birthday party, and they were like, they were like screaming and singing along to like Taylor Swift or Miley Cyrus, and they were just being like really loud and annoying. So I got up on stage and I was like, so these women make me feel about women, I feel like the way that black people might feel about black people who act like the N-word. And I'm like, so these women are my N-word. Is that racist?
No. That's just my like gut reaction. I don't think that's racist.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe not the same thing as being an N-word, but I have no experience because I'm not a black person, so that's just how I feel about those women who are screaming and taking shots at like 9:30 p.m. I'm like,
right. Hey, you're representing me to the world.
Yeah, exactly. And now I have to like somehow feel like protective over them because we're like the same gender, when in reality I just want to fucking kill all of them.
Except that Fox News is going to put them on the front page or whatever and cast them as like the prototypical like white woman.
Exactly.
That's so interesting though. That raises a good point because I never feel like I'm representing any group. I literally like I don't feel like that closely associated to any fucking group where I'm like I'm gonna do something and they're like, oh, there goes a white guy from New York.
Right.
I don't really identify as white.
What about Muslims? You don't feel like you represent Muslims at all? Don't you feel a little bit embarrassed when somebody flies a plane into the World Trade Center? Just a little bit?
Like I don't feel any connection to them. Like I don't have anything
Not
to do with them.
a little bit of like a twang about ISIS? No, nothing.
I mean, I don't like them. I don't like them, but I don't feel like I don't kind of like cower in the corner being like, shit, my people did that, you know?
Yeah, see, I feel like some part of why I hate all like the Real Housewives and all that shit is because it's like, like there is a little bit of me in all of that. Like it just makes me feel a little bit like, God, I have to take responsibility for that a little bit.
You do? I see. That's it. So there was a story. I don't know if we covered it in last week's podcast, but there was a story about a woman who was working at a dentist's office in the Bronx, and she was arrested because when the dentist was. Did we talk about this in last week's podcast?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay. So she gets arrested because she's the office manager at the dentist's office, and when he's away, homegirl's performing oral surgeries. So it sounds too made up to be true, but it's a fact. And so they arrested her. Yeah, because a couple of people had infections or something seriously wrong, and then when they went back for a follow-up visit, they're like, oh, the woman who took care of me last time must have not done something correctly. And the dentist is like, fuck, you know, this chick's doing like root canals. She did some extractions and shit. Anyway, moral of the story is
one area where I don't think you can really fake it till you make it.
Yeah. I'm so bad at like even trimming my bangs that I cannot imagine fucking.
Oh my God, I
mean, I'll perform minor surgeries on myself. Like I told you guys, I had a skin growth on my cheek. Yeah. After pulling it off a few times and bleeding a lot, it's gone and there's no scar. So I don't know how the fuck I did that.
There you go.
Yeah, good job. White privilege right there.
I feel like you should have a Subway ad for like dermatological surgery. And you should put that as a testimonial.
But like, who's the guy with all the rainbows? Like Dr. Dr.
Zizmore. Zizmore.
Dr. Zizmore, that's right.
You can do that for like half the price of the Dr. Z charges.
The thing is though, she was arrested and her name's Albanian, and so she got the focus was on her being Albanian, and I was like, I guess if there's one thing I really identify with, it's being Albanian. But anyway,
totally.
Everyone was focused on the fact that she was Albanian, and the other day, the day after this news broke, I was listening to some news station, I think 101.1, and there was a DJ on there, Scott Shannon, who's just a dick. I never listened to him. I happened to be switching by and I heard them talking about Albanians, and I said, this is interesting. Anyway, he made a point. He's like, yeah, you know, she wasn't a dentist. Another guy goes, yeah, and she's from Albania. And he goes, yeah, I don't know if they train their dentists the same in Albania. Like he was making some stupid comments. So I took to Twitter and I fucking brought him down.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
I said I'm a takedown. I said, hey, Scott Shannon, and I, you know, used his Twitter handle. I said, your comments were ignorant and offensive. By the way, who gave you your dentures and facelift? Bam!
Bam!
And nobody saw it. One of my friends figured it out.
You just sounded so old. You're like, I got on Twitter, and I like used his Twitter handle, and I said a mean thing.
And I lambasted him.
I learned him.
I went on the internet. I dialed up on AOL. By the way, speaking of sounding old, you're going to love this because you're a tech guy. So my company, we build websites for companies, and so we built a website and we launched it, And within the contract, there's a service level agreement where you say you can expect it to work on these browsers and this version, whatever. Mm-hmm. This one guy sends us a screen grab, and he goes, the website's not working on Netscape Navigator.
Oh my God! Who even has that anymore, sir? That's an antique. You're not even supposed to really use. It's not supposed to be in a fucking plastic bag on a shelf. You're not supposed to use
we're like, I'm sorry. Are you firing that up on your Macintosh Pro Forma? Like, where did this?
Totally.
Where'd you find Netscape Navigator?
I really feel like
the cursor is blinking.
That would go viral amongst web developers. That's like a classic move.
Mm. Yeah.
I hadn't seen the word Navigator since like '96.
Mm-mm.
That's impressive.
I don't know how they have that anymore.
Can you even get that?
I don't know.
No, there's places where you could still download it, but I think it's the last update for it was like 2006 or some shit like that.
But what's confusing to me is that they're so self-righteous about that one website not working. I'm surprised any websites work. Is this person like sending self-righteous emails to like every single website they ever try to open? Oh, your website isn't work. No, it's the fact that you're carving your computer out of stone right now. Like, that's the real problem. Netscape Navigator.
It's so true. And first of all, anyone who has Netscape Navigator probably wouldn't fucking navigate to your brand new website. Like 3 people are visiting on it every day.
Right.
Okay. Speaking of websites, old websites, what are your takes on what's happening with Bruce Jenner? Because this shit is crazy.
I haven't been following
websites. Neither have I.
So there's nothing really to follow. There's just a big hubbub around a Diane Sawyer interview that's going to be premiering tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally sits down and he discusses his transition. And it's going to be a 2-hour interview, and there's a lot of stuff building up to it. Out of all the Kardashians, I think he is the only one I can really stomach, because he actually has, an irrefutable status. He's a fucking Olympian, and he had fame before them, and I always felt kind of sorry for him being part of that family. But the one thing I'm thinking about is how he's unattractive, and so you would think that you do the transition because I don't know. I'm a vain person, so I would assume. I guess I just sound really ignorant, but I would assume that you think like, damn, I'm gonna be a chick. I'm gonna look good. I'm gonna go on dates. I'm gonna have like fucking. It makes sense for me to be a chick. Whereas for him, he's going to look the same way he's looked for the past 30 years, which is like a fucking Skeletor, and just have long hair and painted nails.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if he's going to get, I guess he's had all sorts of plastic surgery already. He's not going to get anything to, make him look beautiful. Because, can he at this point? I feel like he's already, shaved and molded, and at this point it's just going to start to be overworked. His face is like bread dough. It's just going to be overworked.
Yeah. He did get implants, though. So there's photos of him with breasts.
I don't know how I feel about this whole thing. I mean, I support transgender people. I just don't support Bruce Jenner as, the, poster child of all transgender people, because he does come from the Kardashian family, and those people will do anything to be famous and make money. Yeah. So I would not be surprised if this is just one whole huge fucking publicity stunt to make sure that the Kardashians don't fall off the map.
True.
I mean, if he really wants to be a woman, if he's a woman in there somewhere, if he can't live as a man, God bless him, go get your duck chipped off, I don't care. But, I just, sitting down with Diane Sawyer and, making all sorts of money off of it and making it a whole thing, dude, go fuck yourself. There's way bigger problems in this world.
Don't make me feel bad. I've been looking forward to this for 3 weeks. I have wine in my apartment, ready to go. I'm gonna fucking plop down on the couch at 8 o'clock, fucking eat Chinese food and just watch this. I'm looking forward to the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight as well. But
are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, but this is one of those things that they're both. I'm looking forward to both. Really, I haven't looked forward to a television event in so long.
Are they up against each other?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. That's an interesting dynamic.
And Mayweather's undefeated, so it's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, people are going to be flipping back and forth a lot.
They're going to make so much fucking money off of this, man.
Of course they are.
Off of what? Mayweather-Pacquiao or
everyone involved?
No, Mayweather and Pacquiao. I mean, Pacquiao, even if he loses, he's making a fucking killing. And
now, if Mayweather went on Barbara Walters and talked about getting a sex change, I
don't think it matters whether they win or lose. They get the same amount of money either way.
No, I know. I'm just saying, even if he loses, for him, he's not undefeated, right? So for him, it's all right, maybe I'll win, maybe I won't. He has nothing really to lose. He has everything to gain. Whereas
he was never. It was never a problem getting him to agree to the fight. He always wanted to do the fight. It was Mayweather who was reluctant because he wanted Pacquiao to take all kinds of drug tests and he didn't want to do it.
Well, even with Mayweather, it's like you've got this fucking pristine record, and you have everything to lose if things do not go your way that night. Right. You'll still make a killing, but it's like your record shot. That's how I am. I'm successful in one thing, and I'm never gonna be able to repeat that. So I'm
gonna stop doing it right now. Yeah, that's what I feel too.
Yeah. I'm like, I did that really well, and I don't have another one in me. So let's do my greatest hits album right now.
Yeah, I'm actually sort of scared for the day, if this day ever comes, that I do really, really well at comedy, because then I'm going to be so terrified to ever do it again. It's kind of a blessing that I've never ever done very well, because it's whatever, nowhere to go but down or but up. But I'm just kind of scared for the day. It's a stupid thing to be scared of course, obviously, but I just don't know.
Well, so I was thinking about a similar thing when I was at jiu-jitsu class, and if you're like me and you're just a white belt and you just go there to have fun and roll around a little bit, you kind of don't care what happens. Tap by people all the time. Sometimes you tap people. Whatever. It's just fun. You're rolling around. But I was rolling with my instructor and thinking so he's a black belt and it makes his living on his black belt. If he got tapped by me just by accident, because weird things can happen sometimes, that would suck.
That would be embarrassing.
So I think it takes a lot more balls to go and go out there and do your thing when there's high expectations.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. When nobody expects anything, But as a comedian, if people paid money to come and see you,
right,
it's a lot more pressure.
That's scary. Yeah, that's a little scary.
Yeah, it takes some time, I think, to build up to that.
Yeah.
And you know what also I think is starting to become a factor as we get older is you're not only in competition with your own best self, but then as you get older, you start dealing with shit you never had to. There's younger people who are as hungry as you were, A
lot younger.
And it just reminds me of one of my favorite movies, Showgirls, where, Crystal, who is played by the lovely friend of the pod, Gina Gershon. She says there's always someone younger and hungrier ready to push you down the stairs.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
It's something you kind of experience in college, because remember when you became a sophomore and there's a new freshman class and you're like, fuck you guys, this is our campus, we're here first. And you get so defensive about that next class, and then it just trickles on. There's people, I observe now that, I'm part of the older crowd at my company. I was always one of the younger people. I see new people join. I see people who are older than me, very sensitive about their age, and they see people who come in with brass balls and are like, "Yeah, I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing." And the older people are like, "Calm down, we've got this." But it's one of those things that as you get older, you never realize that would impact you.
Yep, somebody coming up right behind you every single time, push you down the stairs.
Speaking of pushing people down the stairs, could you guys hold on 1 second? I'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh, I think somebody's coming downstairs, I hope.
No. Is she just fucking stomping down with pancakes?
I bet she got out of her crib and is on her way down to the stairs.
Yesterday was the 10-year anniversary of my house burning down.
Wow.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yes.
Remember you guys were like, Bizzle's barbecuing.
We've known each other for 10 years.
Yeah. January made 10 years we've been friends.
Wow. Yeah, and you had that. Did Marks and Adela start a fundraiser for money for your house, or no? It was
are you serious?
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Mark tried deterring people from donating.
Mm-hmm.
Mark was like, "He's getting an insurance payout. We should check in with him."
Right. Exactly.
No, he was the one. I mean, I wasn't there, but I guess after that Monday morning meeting, I had called them on Saturday. I was like, "Hey guys. Little thing happened to me. My whole house burned down. I'm not going to be in work next week. Let me know it's okay." Right. No one ever fucking let me know it was okay.
Of course.
I just didn't care. I didn't follow up. And that Monday, I guess during the company-wide meeting, SEMA got up and said, "Hey, Byram's house burned down. I'm going to have a box next to my desk for anyone who wants to contribute." And Mark cut her off, and he's like, "Yeah, and everyone remember to grab a 6-pack and stock the fridge so we have cold drinks the rest of the week."
That's right. That is right. I remember he steamrolled right over SEMA.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know that we're at the 10-year anniversary of Byram's house burning down?
Really?
Yeah, 10 years.
Damn, where does 10 years go?
Right.
That's crazy. I mean, think about 10 years ago, right? You guys were roommates.
Yeah.
We were fucking eating homemade buffalo wings and getting high.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You weren't even dating Amy, and now you guys are married, like have a baby. It's fucking crazy.
We were smoking Oak's like 3-year-old weed that he always had like one nug of because he never smoked it.
Oh yeah, the weed would last for like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what was that night that first night that you guys had everyone over? Weren't you making like enchiladas or something? There was some kind of cuisine that was the marquee event.
Cold cuts. I think it's probably cold cuts.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Walgreens brand cold cuts.
Fuck, it's really crazy to think 10 years passed.
Yep. That's gross. I am moving back to New York, I guess, like 7 years after I left? I wanted to figure out the timeline of this. I think I was there through 2009. 7 years.
No, you left in 2008.
2008?
Wow.
Yeah.
That was 7 years
ago? 7 years. Holy shit.
Yeah. I never meant to be in Boston for this long. I really didn't. I thought I was going to move back sooner.
Yeah, but you know what, though? The thing about Boston, you moving back to Boston, is you really got to, live with a baby.
Yes.
And have beautiful weather.
So
those two things are off your list.
That's true. Yeah, I did.
You couldn't have done that in New York.
Check those things. No, I couldn't have done that anywhere. I got to be really mad at the public transportation system.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in New York.
No.
I have to really manage my expectations about not thinking that New York is like the perfect place when I get there, because I know things are going to really frustrate me there too, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like, well, this wouldn't be happening in New York once I get there.
You totally would.
Totally would, like worse.
The thing that I'll prepare you for is coming back to old neighborhoods that remind you of when you lived in New York is it really is. I'm still adjusting to being back in Soho because I know I'm a fucking emotional wreck, but like so many feelings came out being in this neighborhood again about being like 22 and fucking drunk and fear and loathing. And, you know what I mean? Just being really nervous about work and stressed out about work. That all just fucking came out.
Oh my God.
Coming back down here.
Totally. Yeah.
And I have Jen down here. So everything just reminds me of 2005 down here.
Yeah, I'm excited to move back to New York and not feel that way about my life.
Yeah.
Not have my thoughts always be clouded by alcohol and work stress. Now it's just clouded by smoothies. Thoughts are clouded by smoothies.
You have any shows coming up?
Yes. I have a show on May 19th that will be broadcast on college radio. You're welcome.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know. Pretty exciting.
Will this be retrievable via the internet some way?
God, one can only hope, right? Isn't everything on the internet now?
I would think so.
What about Netscape Navigator?
It will definitely be available on Netscape Navigator, and that might be the only place it's available. Okay, and you can get it through my AOL email address. And then I have a show on May 29th on the North Shore. Which it's like a dinner and comedy show, so that'll be fun. I think I might get paid to do that one.
Wow.
But I had to send the organizer my bio and headshot today, and my headshot's just like a picture from Facebook, and my bio basically just says, Liz Hall is a Boston comedian who thinks everything is stupid. That's it.
It's pretty accurate. That's all I need to know about you.
It's really, I can't, like, I'm sorry, I'm not writing a bio. It's ridiculous. What is my bio? Who gives a shit? I'm just going to get up on stage and say things, and you'll find it funny or you won't. Right. My bio has nothing to do with that. So maybe I won't get that show because my bio is not good. But then I have another show on June 18th. I'm calling it my Boston Return Tour.
Well, I mean, done. You're done with that.
Yeah. So that's cool. And then, the future is now.
That's awesome. I can't wait till you're doing shows in New York so we can actually go and support you.
Yeah, I want to give myself like a year before. I need to balance like waiting too long to like ask for shows, but then at the same time like making sure that I like haven't been practicing enough and like am good enough. So I want to give myself a year before I start to like stress out about doing any shows in New York. I'm sure I'll get shows before that, but like before I start like kind of pounding the pavement, really asking for shows, like I'll probably start applying to festivals in the first couple of months that I'm there, but.
Yeah, but when you do open mics, you can let us know when an open mic night is, and we'll just be there.
I have learned, in my first year of comedy, I've learned a lot of things. One of the many things that I've learned is friends should not be coming to open mics. They really shouldn't. I like, when I first started, I was like, doesn't matter, like, my friends don't care, they're going to come watch, like, blah, blah, blah. But you burn through friends if you make them come to open mics. Because last night I got to the open mic at 6:45. I didn't go on till 10. It's like hours of people just like working out new material, and it's awkward and embarrassing, and like nobody wants, like, I'm not cool when I'm there. I'm like kind of nervous and like talking to other comedians and like trying to like network and stuff, so it's like not a fun thing for friends to come to open
and it's
mics.
kind of not good for you because you're kind of stressing about whether they're having a good time, and you have to check in with them, and like
exactly. And I like, if I'm not funny, like I'm already questioning whether or not all the comedians in the room hate me. I really don't want to have to question whether or not my friends hate me because I'm not funny. You know, it's like, it's this whole like pattern. Like, maybe if I have more self-esteem, I will be able. You can come to my open mics, but I just don't think it's like that fun. But there will be shows that you can come to.
Do you guys watch Louis C.K. show?
No, and that's really embarrassing. I know that I should be.
Oh, dude, it's so fucking funny. So, well, actually, you know what? A lot of the episodes aren't funny.
Yeah.
They're like French art house film. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? They're like dark or like insightful or whatever. But the most recent one was very good. It was about like Louis, like some guy paid Louis a couple $100 to MC like the open mic at the end of the night at the comedy strip or whatever, and it was very good. His interaction with this guy who's a comedian who does a bit is very funny.
Right. Okay, I'll watch that.
I recommend watching it.
I'm excited.
That said, you guys want to do some picks?
Ooh, yes.
Wait, I have one quick question before we go on to picks. How many silver dollar pancakes did Leah pound this morning? Because you sent a picture of us.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
It took a little while for her to warm up to eating. She was fighting me off, swatting the spoon away and just generally frowning at breakfast. But once she got going, she had a time, and she was snarfing down a bunch of pancakes. So, but she does have a tendency to frown at breakfast for a while. You have to be persistent.
We're looking at a picture right now of her, and she is frowning at her last bites of pancakes.
Yeah, she doesn't like it at all.
And Byram captioned it.
I'll tweet the picture out for all you creeps on the internet, too.
Yeah, and Byram captioned it with, "I done had it with y'all, pancakes." That was awesome. All right, you guys go first on your picks.
All right. I don't think I picked this last week, but...
Botulism.
Did I pick?
Nice.
Did I pick the book Damon by Daniel Suarez last week?
Yeah, you did. You did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, Byram, you got to go ahead of me. I got to scramble.
I always ask to go last. All right, I guess my pick of the week, I actually have one, is the Women in the World Conference run by my former boss, Tina Brown. So she brings together like the biggest women in the world for a 3-day summit to talk about interesting things. I went the first night just because I have friends who go, and it's always like a good reunion, and Meryl Streep was going to be there, so any chance that I have to say that I met a celebrity, I'll take. But I actually went yesterday because Hillary Clinton was going to be making her first appearance since announcing that she was her candidacy for president, and I thought it'd be pretty cool to be there. So I got there early, and my friends gave me like a press badge, and I got to sit like really close to stage. And I didn't want to sit orchestra level, so I sat first level balcony, but I was right by the stage, so I had a perfect view of when she came out on stage. The only problem was I got there so early I had to watch the other sessions that were happening. And so I sit down, and they handed out this delicious popcorn. It was a mix. It was Garrett's popcorn, and it was a mix of cheddar and caramel, which I did not think would be as good as it was. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is great. I'm not in the office. I'm enjoying some popcorn. I'm going to fucking see Hillary Clinton. The lights dim. The next panel takes its place. Who is it but Ashley fucking Judd?
Oh, you're
enemy of the pod. My arch nemesis. But it was just so funny because, I've told stories about Ashley Judd and the 2 times that I've interacted with her, and she's just not been great. And I've been kind of, spreading the anti-gospel of Ashley Judd around for the past decade or so. And what was the topic of her panel? Internet trolls, and how people have tried to take her down and defame her.
Oh, must be nice.
And I said, damn.
You're like, there's my internet troll right there.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty fucking crazy. And then she leaves, and then I'm sitting there, and I'm like, damn, maybe I have been too harsh on Ashley. Like, maybe we can recoup. She leaves, and then one other funny story that I'll tell you guys from yesterday's event was, because I was sitting in the first balcony, I had a great view of everyone who was sitting down in orchestra, particularly the front row. And they were kind of building up the anticipation of Hillary Clinton coming out, and everyone was so fucking excited because it's a crowd full of white women, and everyone loves Hillary Clinton if you're a white woman. So these people were just like bracing themselves. They knew they had like the fucking best seats and stuff, and I guess they were seat fillers. And someone came and tapped them on the shoulder and told them that they had to leave. And I just watched this happen. I felt so bad for them. But you know why they were asked to leave? Guess who wanted their seats?
Ashley Judd.
No, which would have been better. I didn't even think about that. That would have been amazing. It was Barbara fucking Streisand and James Brolin.
Babs. Classic.
So I'm watching. I was so close to Barbara Streisand. I just fucking watched her just like plop down on her chair, like getting ready. She had the perfect view of Hillary when Hillary was getting on stage. And I said, "What is my life? I'm sitting at an all-women's conference. I'm the only guy. Thinking about how much I hate Ashley Judd." And I just watched fucking Barbara Streisand have 2 people evicted from their only chance at ever seeing Hillary Clinton speak.
Classic Babs.
Yeah. So my pick of the week is Women in the World.
Women in the World.
Okay. I scrambled and I got a pick. I'm going to recommend another book. It's called The Hurricane by Hugh Howey.
Ooh.
And it's a short, I think it's probably like one of those teen books or whatever. Anyway, it's really good. And it's about a kid who is like struggling with his place in the world as like an adolescent, but like his place, like basically being addicted to the internet, and like how like sort of taken out of himself he is by like his like presence on the internet and interactions there. And it's about this hurricane that comes through and takes out the power of it in his community and like fucks things up, and like the way that like just how it affects him when the internet goes away. And it's very good and it's very poignant, and I think that you sort of will see a lot of yourself in it when you read it, if you spend a lot of time on the internet. And so I highly recommend it. It's $5 on Amazon. Go get it.
The book's called Hurricane.
The Hurricane by Hugh Howey.
Hugh Howey.
I'll tweet the link.
Okay, perfect. My pick, I have several picks of the week. One of them is Leah frowning at pancakes, or panqueques. That's one. My other pick is Blenders, the tagline of which are, "Let us do the chewing for you." I also recently read a book by Dave Eggers. Have I talked about this one? Zaytun. Did I tell you guys about this?
No.
It's a book by Dave Eggers, and it's about a Muslim family living in New Orleans during Katrina, and how racist everyone is. Yeah, that's. It was a really good book, but makes you not really like the police that much. I don't really like the police that much right now anyway, so that's fine.
Nice, good picks.
Thanks.
And I have one brief shut the fuck up.
Oh, good.
That I'd like to share with the community.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes at class, when you roll with someone, they start the roll. You do like a little high five and a little hand slap and a fist bump, and a third of the people in the class will always start with a "something hurts, my knee hurts, I have something wrong with my finger, my wrist hurts, I have this injury, I have this thing, I just rolled with this guy, or I moved somebody out of their apartment this morning," or whatever. They lead with an excuse. And I realized that this always happens like in life. And I remember when we played kickball, there's like a message board where people talk about tournaments before they happen, and you'd see about a third to a half of the teams would lead with, well, we're missing so-and-so, or we're late for this tournament, or we don't have this, or whatever. They lead with an excuse. And I feel like people just, a fair number of people just do this in life. They lead with an excuse. This is why I probably won't succeed at this task. And you do a couple of things when you do this. One is that you set yourself up to fail. You're looking at, your eyes are pointed at failure, and so you're steering in that direction either intentionally or inadvertently. The second is if you're playing a sport, you diminish your opponent, because if they beat you, they didn't really beat you because you weren't 100%. If you beat them, then it wasn't a fair match anyway. You know, you beat them every time. You could have beat them even worse. So you do yourself a disservice. You do the people around you a disservice. My advice is, if you're tempted to lead with an excuse, shut the fuck up. Stop talking. Just do your job. Just do your thing in life. Go in, walk in, and do it. Whatever state you're at. You're 100%? Nobody's ever 100%. The challenges that we face in life come neither at the time nor in the circumstances of our choosing. This is how it goes. So just do it. Just do your thing. Just roll. Don't complain. Don't make excuses. Just show up and do your best. And that's it. And shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Don't leave an excuse. Mm-hmm. Do the math.
Do the math.
Do the math. Adapt and overcome.
These shut the fuck ups, I think we should start our podcast with them.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Set the tone.
Yeah.
All right, we'll try starting our podcast with it next time.
We'll start with shut the fuck up.
If I have one and chambered up when we start, then we'll lead with that.
I like that. And you should also, I think as part of this, our social presence, you should tweet out what just the shut the fuck up of the week is.
Yeah.
Let's make it something. Let's trademark that.
Something. Do the math. Do the math.
Yeah, it was. I don't remember. Sometimes they're a little bit stream of consciousness.
It's on the Facebook page.
Sometimes they are.
Yeah, they're totally stream of consciousness. I lead with a notion, and then it just comes out.
Sounds like my whole fucking life.
Really, it's stuff I've been thinking about.
Yeah, lead with the notion is fucking.
That's another good one. Lead with the notion. Sounds like a Sarah McLachlan song.
Don't let the abused dogs be destroyed. You have to save them.
God, that really does sound like a Sarah McLachlan song. That was brilliant.
With the notion. All right, y'all. I gotta go to work.
All right, kids.
All right, I love you.
Godspeed. Party on. Later.